Well, hey there, good morning. It's me, Al Fox. Here you are. You're on the Energy of the Untamed Heart podcast. So this is a little bit new for me. I am recording this in my car at 7:30 in the morning on a single-digit winter's day on an app on my phone. So there's no fancy microphones. There's no fancy laptop. There's no backup music. There's nothing. It's just me and you having a little conversation. And I really wanted to jump on quickly this morning and just share with you some of my aha epiphanies of really understanding how significant and important it is to carve out time for yourself to just be, not to do, to just be, and to be in the moment with whatever it is in that moment. It doesn't necessarily need to be joyful, wonderful, great, yippee, yahooey, none of that. So here's my story, and I'll just quickly share it with you and make this a quick little mini-sode. So last week, I needed to have a day procedure. I needed to have a preventative colonoscopy done once every 10 years. I was due. And I normally would be like, oh man, I am so not looking forward to this. And, I'd kind of whine and bitch about it all week and the whole thing. And I am a planner. I will tell you this. I am a planner. And I planned very clearly to leave myself enough days to minimize the discomfort associated with the mandatory clean out, shall we say. And that in turn led me to the following ahas, gratefuls, epiphanies, whatever you want to call it. So my procedure was on a Friday. So starting on Tuesday, I no longer consumed solid foods. I was on liquids and broth and some electrolytes in my water, that kind of thing. I will tell you, after 3 days, I was pretty dang hungry. And normally I would have said, oh man, I'm so hungry, I can't stand, blah, 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 and, whined about it. And I really had an opportunity, several things occurred. I had an opportunity to really sit back and look at this differently and say, how can I find something that's really good in this, despite the fact that, I'm sitting on the john every hour, I'm having to drink the god-awful goop that they make you drink. I know that, it's going to be another 48 hours before I get a meal, so on and so forth. And these were my takeaways. I had a lot of downtime to kind of sit and think, because I also wasn't sleeping very well. And the biggest awareness that I want to share with you is the awareness that I have taken my body for granted. The awareness that I assume my body is just going to do its thing and I don't need to take care of it. So that was awareness one. Awareness two, I'm so grateful that I was gifted with a strong body, a healthy body, relatively healthy body. And through my own choices, I can either continue to make it healthier or not. What I did notice when I removed all the solid foods from my intake for 3 days is all of a sudden a lot of my bloating and my inflammation reduced significantly, which was my ding, ding, ding aha moment of, oh, well, perhaps we need to take a look at what is causing the joint pain, what is causing the inflammation in my gut, what is causing the bloating, what is causing the insomnia, what is contributing to my overall low-grade chronic sense of jitteriness, anxiety, discomfort. And lo and behold, by fasting for the 3 days, I had quite a bit of awareness come through that my choices have not been with thought and kindness to my body. My choices have been either numbing some emotional issue like I'm tired, I'm irritated, I'm frustrated, I'm annoyed, I'm bored, whatever the thing was. And I would eat poorly. My awareness was I was using food once again as a crutch to not really sit with myself and be present in the moment for what I was feeling and experiencing in the moment. So having those 3 days of fasting absolutely brought to the surface a new sense of awareness of how significant my friendship, my interaction, my connection to my physical being is, and how paramount it is to my overall spiritual and mental well-being. So that was pretty big for me, really. I know that sounds like duh, but honestly, that was a big deal for me. The other thing that came through for me last week is I also managed to pull some muscles in my back. So I had a lot of muscle spasms all week long. And the job that I do during the day requires me to bend over sideways for hours on end and twist and turn. So I had a fair amount of pain and discomfort associated with that. And gratefully, they do make these little 4% lidocaine patches, which are pretty handy. And that is what got me through the day. But again, what was my takeaway? What was my awareness? My awareness was I've taken my body for granted again. I've been less than consistent with stretching, with regular routine exercise, with taking care to really develop good core strength so that my back can withstand the kind of physical work that I do. And again, being a little bit out of commission, not sleeping well, all of that really could have been seen as, wow, boo-hoo me, I haven't eaten for 4 days and my back hurts. But I have to say, I'm so grateful. I'm like, okay, Nielle, finally get your head out of your ass and really wake up and realize you have been gifted with an amazing soul sitting in a pretty freaking amazing body. Don't take it for granted. And so those are my two huge takeaways from last week is don't wait for tomorrow. Don't wait until whenever to decide that you love yourself. Don't wait that you decide that you love the body that you've been gifted for what it does for you. And I realize not everybody's body works exactly the same way. I get that. But we have an enormous amount of options to help it along or not help it along. And if you believe that this is all outside of you and not within the scope of can you do things to heal yourself, I'm going to say consider, be curious to see if there's another way. For those of you who are inclined, there's an amazingly wonderful book by Louise Hay. I'm going to get the title wrong. I want to say it's You Can Heal Yourself, I think. But the concepts are that we create an awful lot of the unwell-being in our physical body through our emotional and psychological and heart space well-being. And in order to have true wholeness of wealth, of abundance of health, then we need to incorporate all the components, the spiritual, the physical, the mental, the psychological, all the things. It all has to go together and combine that in order to have complete and whole wellness. So with that, let me invite you to certainly subscribe here on the podcast. Let me invite you to consider joining me once a month in Unconditionally You, where we really talk about the unconditionality of loving yourself, which I learned very, very clearly last week. I could kick and scream and carry on like a 2-year-old, or I could embrace the situation in the moment and still love myself regardless, no judgment for what I was going through at the time. I would also love to invite you, if you feel like, wow, what's going on in my world, and you'd like a little bit of clarity, I'm absolutely available for a 20-minute breakthrough call. I call it Straight to the Heart. You can reach me through a DM. You can reach me through Facebook, Instagram, on my website, www.foxdenenergetics.com. And that's my share of the day here on the podcast. So sending so much love to you all. Continue to follow along. There'll be more guest episodes coming along. Why am I doing a mini-sode? I will be very transparent and tell you I was so under the weather last week, I didn't have it in me to do all my editing. So you get me straight up. No guests, just me. And I will check in with you guys a little bit later this week. So make it a good one. So much love to you all. And take care.